Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. It's weekly recap time. For you people that don't know, I like to do one of these for every week. Sometimes I do 2 of them in a week, sometimes I don't do them in a week, but I don't skip weeks. It's just a matter of getting it recorded and getting it done. So, I'm leased to an 80-20 split carrier. I pull reefer. If it's not a reefer load, I'll let you know it's not a reefer load. And I'm on an 80-20 split. I don't pay for trailer rental or anything like that. I got pretty low fixed cost. And I got me a pretty fuel efficient truck here. I got a 2016 Cascadia Evolution I. And I'm enjoying it. It's been a good little truck so far. Making money with it. What else we need to talk about? I go over variable cost. At the end, you'll hear me say that's the money I have to do left to do what I have to do with. It's kind of become my tagline of these weekly recap videos. And what you would need to do after you get to that number, that's going to be with all the variable costs taken out of it, but you would need to put your fixed cost in. If you're going to buy an expensive truck, you're going to have a big payment. If you don't, insurance situation is different. So put those numbers in afterwards. This is just to help compare. When I started being an owner-operator, wasn't the greatest information out there. So I'm just trying to pay it forward a little bit and help people out. If you want to become an owner-operator, here's kind of what you can expect in the market we're in now. Some people, I've had people write to me here lately and say, Cash, you're not being honest with people because you need to tell them that the freight market is this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I just put out what I do. There's no bragging here. There's no manipulation. This is as real as it gets, because let me tell you something, there's too many owner-operators out there that can smell the BS if I was bringing it. I promise you. If you looked at my weekly recaps and I was on here bragging about I made 20 grand every week without fail and I did it on 2,000 miles, you'd have a lot of people going, hey, either you got some secret sauce, you're blackmailing someone, or you're a damn liar. It'd be one of those three, I promise you. So, I just try to be honest with these. Like I said, I'm not bragging. If you make more money than me, God bless you. I think if you put in the kind of work that it takes to be a good owner-operator, I think you deserve to make a lot of money. So, more power to you. And let's help each other stay on the money. You know what I mean? I'm not here to tear anybody down. This channel is about lifting people up. As my grandmother used to say, you can't make your light any brighter by putting someone else's out. I think she used a candle for an example. You can't make your candle any brighter by putting someone else's out. So that's just how it is. It's just how it is. So we did 2 loads this week. Let's get into these loads. Now this first load is Minnesota to Georgia. Now if you go back a week or 2, I did a video about a load tipping over. That was this load. That was the load where it tipped over. I think the video's called Not My Fault, or it's got Not My Fault in the thumbnail or something. Go back and check it out if you didn't watch it. It's a pretty good video. It's getting some views. So anyway, this first load, it's a 2. So that load was 2 picks, 4 drops in Georgia. It was on the pickups. Almost all the freight came from 1 pickup. I just had to swing by this other place and pick up 1 pallet. So not too bad. That load weighed, about 25,000 pounds. I didn't write it down right here. It was 40 miles of deadhead, 1307 on the loaded miles, negative 10 degrees. And that load paid $7,200. Come on, we like them when they're like that. And then that put us down there in Georgia. So we grabbed a load out of Georgia back to Minnesota, just the way I like to do it, out and back, no cutting in the middle and having to stop and unload and reload somewhere. I mean, I'd do it if it makes the money substantially better, but I actually did really good out of Atlanta back to Minnesota. 17,000 pound load. I called the company on this one and I said, hey, we need to call this broker and see if we can get this locked down. We need to be doing more of these. This is a new place, hasn't been shipping very long. They've only been in business for a few months. And I said, yeah, we need to get this, because, man, they loaded like negative 10 degree load. They loaded in about 45 minutes. And then when I got to the other end, they unloaded in about an hour. It weighed 17,000 pounds. And it paid $3,000 from, Atlanta Metro back to Minnesota. Primo. primo run, primo backhaul from Atlanta, for me at least. That load had 109 empty miles on it, and it was 1119 loaded for 1228 total miles on $3,000. I love it. 2 loads for the week. Let's talk revenue. $10,200 total revenue, plus $250 to restack the tipped load. So $10,450. It was the total revenue. Now, when I do my rate per mile, I didn't have that $250 in there because I didn't get that till later on in the week. That $250 came in. I didn't even realize I was going to get $250. I thought I was getting $200. And then when I got my pay stub, it had $250 on there. So I'm like, awesome, I'll take it. So anyway, my 80% of the $10,450 is $8,360. We ran 2,000, and I say we, I'm talking about me and my personalities, I guess. Me and my friends ran 25,079 miles. 149 of that was empty miles. 2,430 loaded miles, 6% deadhead. So, whew, God, I wish I could get more weeks like this. All miles, every mile we turned, paid $3.96 a mile. Hallelujah, come on. 80% of that to the truck is $3.17 a mile. And if you do just loaded miles, it's $4.20 a mile for the loaded miles. There you go. Some of these reefer loads are just banging right now. So let's go over variable cost. I'm going to twist this around a little bit here so we can put some numbers up here for you. Before I get started on variable costs, I would like to say if you're buying your own fuel, check out the Mudflap app down in the description below. Use my link to sign up. Get yourself $10 in free fuel. Gets me $10 in free fuel, but more importantly, it saves you a ton of money. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I fueled 4 times on this week on Mudflap. You know, that I did have to stop more and buy more fuel in smaller quantities, mostly reefer, because when you do negative 10-degree load, that's 4 stops. You set with the doors open a lot, and it causes you know, a lot more reefer fuel usage. And then 10-degree on the way back. The trailer basically ran at negative 10 for an entire week. So, but check out Mudflap. It is tremendous. It is tremendous. Now, the Southeast does not have as good a network as I wish it would. Like when I'm running in the Midwest, I only use Mudflap, but I recommend you have an EFS or a ComData or some sort of backup discount card, because some areas of Mudflap are not you know, filled out like they will be soon. The more fuel we keep buying, the more truck stops they keep adding on Mudflap. Check it out. It's free to download. There's a link in the description to download, and there's also a link to sign up with my promo code. There's a how-to video down there if you have questions about it. I got 2 how-to videos, one about using the app and the other about routes and stuff like that. It's a really good app. I recommend it. Check it out if you're interested. It's free to download, and it's you don't have to enter any information other than, I think, your email and your phone number, or your name and your email, something like that. That's basically all you got to enter, and you can look at their fuel prices and see how it compares. But anyway, my Mudflap promotion, free commercial's over for them now, but I really do like Mudflap. I do. It is tremendous. So let's get to the variable costs. I spent $13.35 on diesel. I spent $2.42 on reefer. I spent $13 on a cat scale. I did scale that load going down, so it was loaded weird. I think might have been why I scaled that. And $8 on tolls. Man, I love a week like that. That's the variable cost. I mean, and I bought a lot of fuel that week, and I'll go over and tell you right now, these are what I bought, not what I used. So $13.35, I remember ending that week on a good amount of fuel too. Because I was like, boy, I could have kept my variable cost down by not buying as much fuel at the end of the week. But I just don't get those guys on YouTube that say, only buy the fuel you need for the load. I disagree with that mentality. I did a video a long time ago about fueling. my theory is buy as much fuel as you can at the cheapest price when you can. You know, like if you know you're going here and you're going there and then you're coming back over here, you know, like you should be able to plan out a good fuel stop if you know like the next 1,000, 1,200 miles you're going to be running, you know, and to buy enough fuel for the load. Well, it's like, okay, I got fuel in the fuel tanks. What, I'm not going to use it later in the week? Like, am I just going to retire at the end of the week? I'm going to need fuel next week, so why not buy it while it's cheap, you know, where I'm at if it's cheap. And when I say cheap fuel, I'm talking minus IFTA, not the pump price. Go check out my IFTA video. If you don't understand IFTA, you're probably losing a couple $100 a quarter by not fueling properly with IFTA. Just trying to help out there. Just trying to help out. But yeah, some people say, I heard one guy on YouTube, I heard one guy say, and this guy's got like 30,000 subscribers. I heard him say, don't fill your truck up with fuel at the end of the week because your truck might break down and then you'd be sitting there all weekend with full tanks of fuel. Oh, needless to say, this guy has not had a whole lot of success in trucking. You know, I'm just saying. But anyway, let me get away from all that. I don't like to be negative, you know, but I'm just saying, like, be careful who you listen to. You know, don't even take what I say 100%, you know. Compare what I say to other people that put out good, honest numbers and get, you know, take a little bit from everybody, you know. So anyway, after all my ranting there, let me get to the numbers. Back to the numbers. $8,360 was my 80% cut. I'll pop that up right here. Minus the $1,598 in variable cost I had, leaves me $6,762 to do what I have to do with. And now at this point, you take $6,762. Bring your truck payment out of it, all your insurances and whatnot out of that, and then that would give you, you know, your profit. And then, you know, I pay myself out of that, so, you know, I'd have to pay myself out of that, and then we would see what the profit was. But I don't put that out there, you know, and I just do this every week, you know. I know some people was asking me about doing quarterly and monthly. I don't know, I'm just not as big a fan of that, because even doing weekly, I catch a lot of hell, you know. Everybody either says you're lying about you're doing too good, or everybody says, you know, why are you running for so cheap? You know, it's like you never can make everybody happy. So this is about the majority of what I'm willing to put out right here. And I do appreciate everybody that watches these. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. And like I say, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Check out the merch down there. We're selling Cash is King merch now. Hashtag Damaged Boys shirts are out. Grab you one of those for winter time. Get you a hoodie, whatever. Take care of each other out there, everybody. I appreciate you watching.